morning. So tonight's guest is here. I'm going to give her a quick intro and then we're going to go from there. Tonight's guest is a Houston, Texas native who currently resides in the ATL, Atlanta. She has been a braider since the tender age of just 7 years old, guys. So she's been doing this her entire life. Can you guys believe that? And she became a licensed master stylist in 2015. And she is the kind of magic that can take a hundred's worth and make it look like $1,000 masterpiece. Please welcome Master Stylist, Lavish Culture. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, I think we lost her, guys. Give her a second. Give her a second.
But wait. So she's been doing this since she was 7?
7 years old. Okay, so you know those people we see on like the TikTok videos and the Instagram feeds where the little child that's like 5 years old is braiding somebody's hair and you sitting there like, what? She's one of these. She is a prodigy of her art. So
yeah, I was actually on her page and stuff, and I was going through a lot of work.
I don't know what happened.
That's okay. We're just at the beginning. We got plenty of time to get it right.
But yes, I've been doing this since I was 7.
So I was going to say, I'd ask you what made you want to get into hairstyling, but it sounds like it's something that you just always had a passion for.
Yes. I mean, just growing up, my mom had 3 girls. So, you know, when it was time to go to school, I'm the oldest. So I had to take care of all of that. Like, hey, mom got to go to work early. I'm the one that has to take care of your sisters. Yes. So
look, I'm the youngest of my 3 sisters. And my oldest sister used to have to bathe me. She used to have to put me to bed, all that kind of stuff. She used to make up little things and tell me that Mr. Mosquito Man was going to get me. But my daughter is spiders. My daughter hates spiders. But my oldest sister would say, oh, Mr. Mosquito Man's going to come after you. You know, the big crane flies? Because we live in the country. If I didn't do what she said.
So you understand then?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to understand that because, I mean, I'm like the middle child. So
you right.
I was always the one that had like anything I wouldn't understand that. I mean, now that I got kids and whatnot, man, it's even still a situation where I gotta find, like, I have to get my hairstylist to do the hair because I'm like, yo, I get my hair braided. I don't do my hair.
Jay still got his hair done because Jay has long hair. So
really,
yes,
yeah, I got my hair.
Let me find out. See,
yep. So he knows something about the hair thing too. So I was gonna say, if you started at 7. Did you own like a lot of dolls and things, or did you just practice on like real human heads? Is that what you started with?
See, I've never had like the actual, you know, now we have the styling dolls and stuff like that. I've never had that. So it was automatically, because my mom used to do hair too. So I would watch, and once I saw her, I kind of taught myself. And then once I did that, I had all the dolls, my sister live dolls. So I would just do it on them. I would practice on them all the time. And then it went from my siblings to my cousins and my aunts, and my uncles had hair. So I was on my uncles, and it was
you just practiced on your whole family.
Everybody.
You just ran through them. And that was when you realized you had a gift, obviously, because look at your career now.
But see, hey, I will say this. Family, they want them freebies. I had to.
Yes.
So I was practicing, but once I got good, I started looking like, where my coin at?
I was going to say, like, give me something. You don't charge family as much as you charge everybody else, because I know how that goes.
Right.
But they need to give you something, because it's like I've told my family, I pay for everything I get from y'all. My mom owns a tailor shop. My sister owns a bakery. Everybody works and does something. And I'm like, if I come down there and tell you take it off my card, I expect you, if you ask for my services, to give me something for it.
Exactly. And see, people, if I had something to tell, like, every stylist or anybody in a business, period, when it comes to family, make sure they pay you what you're worth, because at the end of the day, if you don't do it, they'll go to the next person and they're going to make sure they pay their money to the next person.
Yep. Because if they can't get it from you for free, they're going somewhere else and they're going to have to pay anyway.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that is something I had to learn even with me running my businesses. So now it's to the point where it's like my mom, it was recently just happened where she asked me, and which I appreciated, and I did it with no cost and whatnot, but she was like, you know, how much would you charge me to mount the TV on the wall and whatnot? I'm like, don't worry about it, Mom, but I do appreciate you offering.
It's the thought.
Right.
It's the thought that you know that I do this, and you know that I do this for a living to run my business. So I appreciate that you put the initiative there to willing to pay me. And I'm still, I mean, that right there says a lot. So it was enough to where it's like, you ain't got to worry about it. I put it on the wall for you, no problem.
And I was going to say, mamas are the exception to it, because without them, you wouldn't exist. Your parents, they brought you here and they spent money on you your entire life. So when they do it, and sometimes my mom will be like that. She'll be like, well, I'm going to cut you a deal. I'll just charge you $20 for something I charge somebody $100 for. And I'm like, Mom, I got the money. If I didn't have it, then I tell you I don't have it. Because it's a sense of pride for me to be able to pay your own way. And only somebody who has had to pay their own way will understand that begging, because I do have a brother that's like that. He will beg and he will be like, can you loan me this? And I'm like, you're not going to give it back.
I think every family has
let me help you find a hustle.
I think every family has at least one.
It looked like I broke his heart. And he's my baby. I call him my baby brother, even though he's older than me, because he has a few issues because he's bipolar. We all deal with things like that. So, but I always try to encourage him. And I'm like, man, look, I know that it can't feel good to you to just keep coming begging your siblings. Let me show you how to get a side hustle. Let me show you how to make that money for yourself.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I want him to be able to feel independent, not just because you got 5 other siblings to think that we're going to always be there. What if we all go our separate ways?
Correct.
What if I'm not there? Or what if I don't have it?
Right.
But yeah, I was going to say, it's a blessing to have somebody that's capable born into your family. But they can't do it.
You've been doing hair since you were 7. Like, let me ask you, because I don't do hair and stuff. How does that not take a toll on your hands, like your fingers? Like, how many hairs
I know
can
it
you
does,
do?
because I know people that do hair. I know it does.
I guess over the years it will, but to be honest, I have no problem. The only
how old are
thing I'm actually 29.
29. Oh, you still in your 20s? Okay, she got a minute, Jay.
So like, I literally don't have any problems with my hands, and
I'm glad.
Let me tell you, I will do hair from 6 o'clock in the morning up until 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, I know stylists that were good in their 20s, but when they got into their 30s, they said it started giving them carpal tunnel. It started making their legs hurt more, and they still love the job. But just, if you start feeling it, deal with it right then and there. Don't wait.
Right.
Because
and see, they tell me that all the time, because braiding is a thing that I do the most. But I mean, I'm a master stylist, so I do other services as well. But braiding is the most critical, because you're doing a repetitive thing so much. And so, like I said, it doesn't bother me now, but the only thing that bothers me now is the standing. It makes my back hurt sometimes, but other than that, I'm fine. Like, I really don't have a problem with my hands or anything. And it's just like, every stylist that I meet, they're like, you better start doing this. You better start doing that.
Yeah, they're worried about you because they know it's down the line.
Yes.
Because that's hard work.
I'm a fast braider too. So it's just like, it comes natural. I'm a fast braider, and it's just like, they're telling me all the time, you're good, but you better start doing this, you better start doing that, because once you get a certain age, you're gonna be like,
La Bombay says, yo, when can I get a braid up though? Let me tell them, she's in the Atlanta area, so you need to DM her after the show if you in the area and you want to get a braid up, and I'm sure she will tell you when she can schedule you in and what y'all can do to work together. Make sure you follow her as well. Just click on her name up top and hit that follow button, guys.
In fact, I'll actually pin her name in the comments as well too, so that people can. That's if she popped up, because I'm hearing. There you go. Now you pop up in my search.
You see it?
Yeah, it was earlier. It was acting funny. I couldn't get you to pop up.
So you guys see her name pinned down there. Make sure you follow her, show support. It's like I tell people all the time, if you can spend, we probably spend per month, and I'm being nice saying $100 to $200 on entertainment. I'm being nice, because depending on the area you live in, double or triple that. Right. You can spend that on entertainment, spend something on your self-care. Your hair, your body, your clothes, all of that kind of thing is self-care to make you feel good about you.
Right. And it's critical. It's very critical, because people believe that, and I was once like that, believe that you could just do anything to your hair and it'll be fine. Do you get what I'm saying? But and people want long, they call it good hair, but people want long and luxurious hair, and healthy hair. But the thing about it is, it's not just what you put in your hair, it's also what you put in your body. So the things that you eat on a daily basis change the way that your hair grows. It changed the way that your hair comes out of the scalp. It changed the way that, you know, the routine that you have to do on your hair, the things that you put in your hair. It changes all of that because all of this is connected. So from the top of your hair to the sole of your feet, everything is connected. Everything that you put inside your body, that's what's going to come out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they say you are what you eat. You eat a lot of junk, it's going to show in your skin.
Exactly.
It's going to show in your hair. It's going to show in the lack
all
thereof.
Of that. All of that.
Listen. Let me tell you, she not lying about that because it went from where, like, obviously, like, beforehand I had my curls, so I was always rocking the curls, but it was just too much upkeep to do it, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to get my hair braided. So it literally went from where I would get my hair literally braided. I swear, it was once a month I would get my hair braided. I'm telling you right now, I spend $200 a month to get my hair done every 2 weeks because just as fast as I get it braided, by the second week, it's already like you see the new growth, and I got to go get it redone, and you know, and it's crazy. And I commend y'all for doing hair because I'll be sitting there. I ain't gonna lie, I'll be sitting in the chair for at least about maybe 4 hours, and I'm not the one that do the normal straight backs, and I'm the guy that
want it crazy.
I'm crazy with, like, if you go on my page, you'll see like recent braided. You'll see I'm crazy with my styles. That's just how I am. So I'm sitting there for a few hours, and I'm sitting there like, man, these women be all day braiding individuals and throwing tracks in. And I'm just like, I know for a fact some got the hurt on them because
it's a work day.
No
People make the assumption that hairdressers don't work for the money that they get, and that's a negative stereotype towards a lot of jobs. Even people that do desk jobs, people say, "Oh, you sitting down all day. That can't be that hard." First of all, your blood flow is slower when you sit.
Right.
Your body hurts when you sit in the same position for long periods of time, which is why I remember we were talking about sleeping in the car and how that causes arthritis for people that are home. You don't realize the impact on your body just by standing in one position or sitting in one position for a long time to take care of somebody else.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. It really is. And the thing about it is that people don't understand that it may seem, I want to say, small. It may seem like it's something little because it's like, oh, it's so many hairstylists. They all do the same thing. And let me tell you a story. I actually, in Houston, we love discounts. I'm gonna tell you that now. So we love to bargain.
We don't love saving money. We understand.
We do. We love to bargain. So here, my prices are different than when I was in Houston. Houston, I could charge a certain amount, and it's like, okay, my clientele was great. You get what I'm saying? When I moved to Atlanta, my prices were lower than what Atlanta prices are. So whenever I would promote and whenever I would put my business out and then tell them my price, it was like I got so much criticism on it because it was, hey, down here we are about getting money. So if you're not getting your money, or if you're charging these low prices, you're either scamming or you don't know what you're doing. You get what I'm saying? So out here I learned a lesson because people will actually pay for what they want. And then whenever you're making your pricing on your services, you're attracting the customer or the clientele that you want. So if you have a low price and you're bargaining your prices, then you're basically saying that's the clientele that I want to attract. I want to attract.
Because people are going to assume, why is it that cheap?
Exactly.
You must not be good for what you're doing. And Scarface says, what is a good product for moisture? He has a mixed son. What would you suggest on, because I know everybody's different, white people's hair, black people's hair, mixed people, it's all different. So
I've done so many people's hair, right? So many kind of textures, anything you could think of. When it comes to moisture, for sure, I love Kaleidoscope products. Shout out to BB Judy. Just her products.
I've actually never heard of that. I mean,
really?
Yeah. So I'm not big into hair products itself, but I mean, like, for what I put in my hair a lot, I know I do more so if it's braided. My hairstylist, she has her own stuff. So every time I take out my hair, it's always still grease, which whatever she's using, I like that. Because the fact that if I can take out my braids and they still greased up,
Yes.
that means whatever it is good. But I normally, just apply a little bit of oil sheen here and there to keep it, keep the open areas cool. Whatnot. I actually don't know my products as far as what is good for, what is not. All I know is that for one, my hair is growing and it's rapidly growing quicker than what I'm used to. Right. So if you're in those situations that I really don't know nothing about moisture, the correct product you should get, how much heat can your hair take, things of those things. That stuff right there, because I mean I'm fully black, but I got hair that comes out curly as heck, and so it's like I had to sit there and, like I'm gonna ask my parents, because
I was gonna say, and you got daughters too, so you're gonna need to know what product to use on them if they're.
That's another thing.
And see, that's the thing; it's different for everybody. Everybody is not gonna have the same type of texture hair. Hair is not gonna absorb like every, you know what I'm saying? It's different for everybody. So it depends on hair texture. It depends on if your hair is normally dry or if it's normally wet. It depends on how much you shampoo your hair. It depends on what you use to shampoo your hair, what products you use daily. Like I said, it's a bunch of different things. So that's why whenever you go into a salon, or if you're going to a stylist for the first time, a consultation is always the key thing, because we don't know what you normally do to your hair. You get what I'm saying? And we don't know what your diet is like, or if you take any medicines that may affect your you know what I'm saying, your hair growth or anything.
Right.
So
I forgot about medication.
Medication. His son wants to grow his hair out, but should he use Kaleidoscope products to keep it healthy? Because his son wants to grow his hair out.
I love Ite products, especially for our culture. Like Ite products are really good because it deals mostly with natural hair. Natural hair that it could be dry, it could be fully moisturized, anything. Ite, E-T-A-E, Ite products are really good, and Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope, Jessica, she has a variety of things that you can use from adults to kids.
Yeah, so Scarface just said his daughter has coarse hair.
Yes, with coarse hair, I'm telling you, both products are #1 in my book, because they deal with a variety of different hair types and hair textures. So I would suggest Kaleidoscope or Ite. Both are really good products.
Okay, and where can they find these products at? Can they go to any hair store and find them, or they got to go online?
You can go to any hair store is selling them off the shelves. Walmart is actually doing both, and you can go online. And I suggest for anybody who's doing it to go online. Now, if you need it right then and there, then go into the beauty supply or the hair store and get it off the shelf. But online is gonna be your cheapest bet. And I know we like to save a little coin, but if you get it online, it literally will be way cheaper than you getting it out the store, because it's a third party when you can just go straight to the source and get it. You get what I'm saying? So Kaleidoscope for sure, and Ite for sure will be really good.
What about for people who have alopecia or deal with thinning hair? Because a lot of women, and some men suffer from that too, but a lot of us women have thin edges, whether it's from stress, whether it's from what we put on our hair, too many extensions, snatching people's edges out. And I'm just like looking at people that are completely bald in that area, and I'm just like, as a woman, that makes you feel some kind of way about another woman. Men, y'all just shave your heads. You be like, screw
I think that was one thing I made sure.
It's worse for us. It's worse.
I made sure I told my hairstylist, I said, do me a favor, when you braid my hair, don't snatch my edges. Do not do that.
Listen, so y'all worry about y'all edges too.
Listen,
when you hear popcorn in your ears.
I worry as a man who has hair, I do worry about my edges, and the reason of that being is because we got to worry about our edges for one. If we want to go get a shape up, if we got no edge, how the barber gonna line us up?
Right.
No, I'll tell you what he gonna do. He gonna get that spray. He gonna put that thing up there and go, and that's gonna be your lineup, sir.
Right. Get them all the way together.
You know, a lot of men are throwing that nowadays too. A lot of men are doing that. Because they got no thing.
I want to ask you, how do you feel about men who are using weave on their faces? I saw a man glue beard on his face, and I was too through.
Oh wow. So listen, he's not lying. A lot of men are doing the spray, and a lot of men are doing the frontals, the
Yes.
lace fronts. There a lot of men are doing that, which it started off like it was just something that was I mean, nobody wanted to do it. No men really wanted to do it. But after they started seeing that, okay, I can do this and it actually looks good, it looks
It really does on
natural.
their head. I'll be like, you look
Yes.
10 years younger. You take a 40-year-old back to 20, and I'm like, how does
Of
the hair do
course.
that?
Of course.
So,
And see, with anybody like you were saying, when it comes to like alopecia or balding or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest um for one, always making sure that you have some type of protectant whenever you're using glue, whenever you're using any type of sealant to put on your hair, anything like that. I
Mm-hmm.
would suggest that you use a protectant, which they sell anywhere. Like you can literally go to Walmart, you can go to that. I even saw some in the Family Dollar store. So it's really different places that you can go to find it. But a hair protectant, or if you're gonna use a cap, a weave cap, anything, you know what I'm saying? Just have something to where it protects your hair, especially after you take it off and you're getting your hair shampooed. It's always good to massage the scalp because you're
Oh, you ain't lying. Oh my God. Oh my
whenever
God. Let me tell you,
you
when I start these
massage it,
brands, I didn't get to doing this.
I'm telling you, it stimulates the blood cells, and that's another thing that keeps the hair growing and maintaining a circulation. Because
Mine feels good. I was wondering why, like every time you
yes,
scratch your hair when you shampoo in or you massage, why does it feel good? So that's why it
yes,
stimulates your blood cells.
yes, it's stimulating the blood cells, and that's what keeps the hair growing. That's why I said everything that you putting in, like your whole body is a living being. You know what I'm saying, including your hair. So
Mm-hmm.
like while it's on your hair, it's living. That's why it grows out. So the blood cells that's in your scalp is keeping your hair growing. It's keeping it, you know, how can I say it? It's keeping it, just basically as it falls out, it's keeping the cycle going.
stimulating.
Basically,
So
Yeah, I was going
it's
to say
keeping it
stimulating that process.
in
Scarface
right.
what
says it still has pores and it needs to breathe.
Exactly.
And
so basically
yeah,
what you're saying, our hair is basically like a living plant that sits on our head.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Because it has, if you go through, and actually read about or learn about the hair, is it has a core. It has where if you have like natural hair and that hasn't been colored, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like say you've been having your same hair texture and everything since you were born. You haven't touched it, you haven't curled it, you haven't colored it or anything. It comes already with a shell on it, basically. It comes protected. And every time you color, every time you perm, every time you know what I'm saying, put some type of chemical or heat on that hair, it's breaking down the barrier
yeah.
to the core.
Oh,
So
okay.
you get what I'm saying? It's
Okay,
breaking
so
That's
that
why
down.
it
states
So
why
breaks.
some people,
They call it the
that
line of
states why they
demarcation.
give you
Is
the
it
primer.
demarcation? I think that's the right word for it.
ex-
That line from where natural begins and chemical
exactly,
processed ends.
exactly. So as you getting closer to the root of the hair, it's basically just breaking it down to where if you ever seen a person with the platinum blonde hair,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
now the hair has broken down all the nutrients, all the things that's keeping it strong and healthy. Everything that's keeping that hair strong has been broken off, and now it's just that thin piece. That's why it's clear. That's why it's blonde, because it has basically nothing there to keep it strong. So it's like everything has been taken out. Everything that it's supposed to have has been taken out. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
people
So that's
now
think
it's down to the core. It's actually down to the core of the hair, and it's holding on by that. That's why I say you always need to keep your hair. If you're gonna dye your hair, if you're gonna color your hair, it's always good to do a dark color instead of going light.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
and
Because
is it
light
because
hair tends
uh-oh.
to
We just
easily,
okay.
because it's it's so light and it's been broken so much. You get what I'm saying?
So when people get their hair and stuff bleached, that plays a part in that as well, right?
Yes, it does. It plays a huge part in it. It plays a huge part because the chemical from the bleaching, it basically kills it kills the barrier around the main part of the hair. It kills it. And it takes a while that's why your hair never grows back the same, or it never comes out the same, because you've already damaged what its natural state is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So that's why it's easier for people to just cut it all off and try to start over. But it never comes out the same because you've broken it down.
You broke it down on a molecular level. Once you knock the atoms or the molecules off of something, there's no putting those back. That's why radiation is so dangerous. We don't really realize that, you know, they call them free radicals. You know, once you have bumped something off on a cellular level, which your hair is cells, you know, it's a different type of cell. It's made up of keratin and all the other things that make hair strong. But you are stripping all of that off and just leaving a truly dead thing there, because they already teach us the hair is dead cells. But you are stripping off any life in it and leaving nothing but the dead part. It just keeps breaking. And people say, my hair won't grow, because you need to leave it alone for a while. Just let it rest so it can heal.
Exactly.
Because I remember one time I did dye my hair, and I think I went like it was like a burgundy color. But I know when I did my hair, that burgundy, it wasn't corresponding the same way. Once it got to the point where it's like the black started growing back in, and I literally took the top and I just cut the remaining red off and whatnot. I haven't dyed my hair since then, and my hair has been basically back to normal. So like I noticed it because when I did dye it, it slowed up the growth of the hair. Then I started having a lot of dead hair too, where it was like my hair was starting to be split a lot quicker, and it was just too much going on. And I'm like, this is not normal. So it's like I'm not gonna dye my hair, because it's like once I got that experience, it was nice when I had it, when I had the look, the color, and all that. But I'm gonna do it again. I definitely will do it again.
But it's gonna cost you. You know, it costs you. So when it comes to like we call them perms, but it's relaxers. When it comes to like putting a relaxer on, a relaxer is literally a chemical transformation. So instead of it, we see that it's straightening the hair, but although it's straightening the hair, it's melting. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it seems like once you put a relaxer on, your hair feels so light after. Like it just feels like it's not thick.
There's a layer missing at that point,
because it's stripping the hair. Like it literally is melting the hair off. It's melting it off, and you won't know, because it's not like it's coming out of your head, but it's melting the layers of your hair to where
it's like when you grow it all back out naturally and you get a flat iron put through it, you can feel the difference in thickness and everything. Flat iron
let me tell you how my hairstylist went through. She went through my hair the last time I got done. She went through it with a hot comb, boy. And I combed my hair out real smooth. And you talk about the thickness. When she went through it with a hot comb, I wanted to get up out that chair. Them hot combs ain't no joke.
I'm telling you.
Yep, Scarface says roots are the life source. Yes, your roots is where it all starts. People think it's your ends. And can we talk about locking in moisture too? Because a lot of people some people say you shouldn't use oil, and some people say you should. And I agree that after you put water in your hair, obviously you got to lock in moisture.
Right.
So you may want to tell people about that. A lot of people are arguing about that on social media.
Yeah, it's different. It's different for everyone. Like I said, mostly whenever you have coarse hair, it's detrimental to the point to where you need that moisture. Like as soon as some of my clients that has coarse hair, I actually use oil with the shampoo.
Okay. That's a smart idea.
So when you say oil, like what type, like any like a oil sheen, or is it like a specific, like you got actual oil where it's
actual oil. So I use actual oil like Miracle Growth, things like that. Things that somebody said baby oil, not baby oil.
No,
but
don't do that. Never ever. Please stop and address that, because people think that mineral oil and baby oil are good for you. They are actually horrible for your hair and skin.
Yes, please do not put baby oil on mineral oil. I love to get natural oils. You know what I'm saying? Natural oils. I use natural oils because one thing I will say, 99.9% of everything that's in our bodies come from the earth. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever you want to go natural and whenever you want to use something that's gonna positively affect anything that's going on with you, your hair, whatever, always go with something natural. Always go with something that you can get herb wise, something that's jojoba oil, things like that.
I
Like
was
a
gonna
I
say
like
I use argan oil a lot.
argan
I
I
love
use
argan
oil,
oil.
I know for a
coconut,
fact for me I use coconut oil. And
right?
which writer lady said that coconut. I use coconut oil a lot, mainly because I like the smell of coconut oil. I'm
Right.
addicted to the smell. I don't know
But
what it is,
let me
but
tell you,
it's
all of them has different healing herbs, like their healing
hmm
properties. All of them have different healing properties. So you, whatever you're trying to fix, you need to figure out which herb fixes that.
Can we
You get what I'm
pause for a
saying?
second? Oscar said tea tree, and tea tree oil isn't actually a hair oil. That's actually an antibacterial. It's an anti-inflammatory.
Exactly.
It's good. It's a health oil.
Yeah.
So tea
yeah. I
tree
was
oil
going to
has
add
way
in because
more.
tea tree. I've heard of it, but nobody really elaborates on tea tree oil. So I
Tea
don't
tree
really
oil can
touch it.
actually be toxic in large doses too. We need to address
Yes.
that. Please do not put that all in your hair because
A
that can
lot
actually be
of
toxic.
those,
But it
a
is good
lot
for you medically.
a lot you and that's the thing, you have to be careful because like I said, you want to do your research or find somebody that
Yes.
can help you do it, because a lot of the things that we've grown up with,
hmm
our parents use, we try to still use as adults, but
It's
it's
changed
not
too.
good.
I was
Yes.
gonna say they've changed the
Yeah.
ingredients on a lot of stuff from when
A
we were
lot
coming up.
of them.
Okay.
And most of the things that's out now, because they want to preserve a lot and they want it to last a while,
Mm-hmm.
they use alcohol a lot. And a lot of the things that have alcohol are not good for your hair.
No.
So some shampoos that you may use may have alcohol. Some conditioners may have alcohol. You don't want to put all of that in your hair because alcohol will damage. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
I
use
So
know.
a lot of sulfate free, and if I don't even always
Yeah,
use
I was about to say I stay away from
shampoo.
sulfate too.
I do
yeah,
And
co-washes.
right,
You know
right,
the
sulfate I
condition
stay away
wash.
from
Yeah.
right.
a lot.
Hmm.
I know for a fact I stay away from sulfate because my mom, she was using sulfate products, but
Hmm.
it was drying out her hair and
That's what
pulling
it
out her
does.
hair.
That's exactly
Exactly.
what
So
it does.
when she start telling me about it, I start looking at the stuff that I was using and it had sulfate in it and whatnot. So I actually started looking for sulfate free products so that way, I didn't have to deal with that because it was crazy how fast her hair was just falling out. And when she
Exactly.
stopped using it, it started growing back, and
That's good.
it was like it's crazy how much chemicals is in this stuff.
Exactly.
And the truth of the matter
So,
is the manufacturers know that stuff is not good for you, but it's
right,
cheap,
right,
so they don't care. You
right.
have to
hmm
read what's going on in your body and in your body because your skin is, they say, your biggest, what do they call it? The biggest organ is your skin, and
Yep,
it absorbs everything.
yep,
And
it
Yeah.
you wonder
does.
why we have so many people with psoriasis in their scalp and dealing with eczema on their skin, and the babies that come
Right.
here with it. I'm like, is it any wonder with all the chemicals? Even Johnson and Johnson, and this has been proven, so I can't get
Exactly.
sued for slander. They done put so much mess in the products. They the reason half these people are suing for talc causing women ovarian cancer
Exactly.
and giving babies
Exactly.
hmm
problems. They don't care. So you
Exactly.
have to care.
It's just another
Exactly.
dollar. That's all it is. Just another dollar.
Yep.
Right. And so that's why I say it's best to do your research. It's best to, and it may seem small to everybody because it's like we're so used to going every day about our lives and not really worried about the
Mhm.
the health of the hair. But
hmm
it really is a lot. You get what I'm
It
saying?
is.
It the health that you would the same amount of effort you would put into your body, like you said, for your health and everything like that, is the same way that you want to be when it comes to your hair. Because a lot of men will still have hair, it still have their hair if it wasn't for like genetic problems or
hmm
things that they've been eating or the things that they use. Women as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it comes from things that we were taught as children to
That's a
use.
good
You know what I'm
question.
saying?
Are
Hold on.
braids
We
bad
missed a
for hair?
couple of questions. Well, we'll go back and catch those two that were posted before. But yeah, he said our braids bad for hair. I wouldn't say that
Braids
they are,
are,
right?
if braids,
We losing you.
Yep.
Give it a
I would
second.
suggest
Okay,
braids
we can hear you.
before. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would suggest braids before anything else because braids give you time to leave your hair alone.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Braids give
and
you
they
time.
expose your scalp.
Exactly.
So
whatever you put into as far as oil or anything that's in your hair that you feel like, okay, I need to let this sit in my hair. It gives you time and for your hair to process all of it. So braids will and the pressure from it. Like I said, whenever you're getting the massage in your hair, once you shampoo it and things like that, after you braid it up, that tension and that pressure from the braids are actually stimulating the scalp as well. You get what I'm saying? So it's good for the hair to be braided. I would think that's the most
that's what we was taught growing up.
way.
When they put the, you know, when we had natural hair growing up in the 80s and 90s, mothers was always putting in braids in black babies' hair, and white people was doing some of it too. But it was, you know, in our communities, we saw braids, French braids, cornrows, and they always said that the tension that it puts on it was the reason your hair grows so fast. Jay just said your hair growing faster now that you're getting braids than it ever had because of the tension.
And really is was crazy because I used to hear, like, I hear a lot of myths. One person would say, oh, well, you don't want to get your hair braided tight because your hair can fall out. Then you would hear somebody say you want it braided tight. So if you can do me a favor, can you clear that up, that rumor? Because I hear a lot. Like me, like I said, I personally want my hair braided tight because it's
going to loosen up anyway as you go.
Right.
And anyway.
As it
and
grows.
See, so it depends because no shade to the African braiders, but when it comes to, I hear a lot about, well, I don't want to go to the African braiders because they pull my edges and
they snatch your soul out your body. I've been told.
I'm telling you,
braiders just
you don't want it. You don't want it that tight. You don't want it that tight.
But you know, I feel like they have stronger hair than us because a lot of them African women that using that Chiba stuff and their hair be down their back. They put a stigma out there that African hair does not grow. Yes, it does.
Yes,
them women be having more hair than us over here, and I'll be looking like, what are y'all doing?
Yes, and see, that's the thing.
But we can't handle that over here.
That's the thing. We're not used to what they're used to.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The way that they, like I said, it depends on your diet and all of that. The things that they eat, the things that they are used to putting inside their bodies,
way more natural than what we get over here. They be pulling stuff off the tree, big old fruits, breaking them open.
Exactly.
It's like, no wonder y'all skin looks so pretty. We don't have it.
It's so different. So it's like you can't go by hearsay, I guess. You actually have to do research because it's so much different than, you know, if you go somewhere else. Just like if you go from here to the islands or something, the air is different. So you know what I'm saying? Everything is different. The water, everything is different.
Usually cleaner.
Depending on where you come from, depending on where you are, where you basically grew up, it affects your whole body. You know what I'm saying? It affects how your hair grows. It affects how your health is. It affects all of that stuff. So
I left this area for 3 weeks once, and the eczema that I was getting around my nose and my hairline, all of it started clearing up. I'm like, this is nasty water down here in the South. And I knew that's what it was. Anita says she uses Bondi Boost. And now keep in mind, please, Anita is from Australia. Okay. So we may not recognize her products, but you know, everything overseas, again, we saying is generally healthier than what we got.
Exactly.
I don't care what, I understand what you're saying, Mia, but I still don't see what's so healthy about the jacked up kangaroo. And I'm just going to,
Let me just tell you.
Wait a minute. What is the jacked up kangaroo?
He back on the red kangaroos and the interesting animals in Australia. The animals of Australia. Just look up the red kangaroo. The thing looks like it's a bodybuilder that's been in the gym all day, every day. Them things.
I don't see nothing natural about that.
Wait, they do have so much different stuff, but you will be amazed at what you see overseas. Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna tell you, my mom lived in Brazil for about 6 years. She lived in Brazil, and when I tell you, when she came back, her skin was perfect.
I bet it was, and that's my point.
And they use rainwater. So, like,
you know how we have collect the rainwater here.
Exactly.
Wait, what?
Yeah, hold up. If you put if you don't have clearance to collect rainwater and you put a rainwater collection center in your yard, they will come and fine you for that. It is illegal to collect large amounts of your own rainwater. They don't want you getting nothing for free, even though it came out of the earth. Just that low down.
That's crazy.
Y'all, I'm going through these comments in just a second, y'all, because I'm scrolling way up. Scarface said, not true moisturizer. I think we missed a few comments up here. Braids, when he was asking were the braids good or bad for the hair, he said, doesn't it pull the hair out where it won't grow back? If you get too tight of stuff put on your edges, whether any kind of tension that's heavily for your edges, that can happen. But you can grow it back. They say if you don't wait too long, right? Because the longer you wait, the more follicles may die, and you need to stimulate them back to life.
Exactly. That's just like whenever you have split ends, while people continue to get their ends trimmed, is because if you leave it on the ends of your hair, it's not going to grow. You know what I'm saying? Because it's dead weight. It's dead weight, and it's just holding. It's not going to grow. So
Scarface said his wife complained that I guess her braids caused some hair loss. And like you just said, everybody can't take the same amount of attention. Please don't follow one person's way of doing it as a do-all, because everybody is different. So she has to figure out what works for her.
Right.
Because my edges can't take a lot of attention. They really don't like nothing messing with them, to be honest with you, because even when I put on like headscarves and things like that, the little bald spots.
Yes, I'm telling you. I'm like that. I can't, like, you know, how we love to sleep with scarves and stuff like that, or the bonnets and stuff. After about a good 2 hours, I'm already itching like, this gotta come out.
I feel like Scarface got a black wife. She black, ain't she? He talking about they use berry and juices, like what Prince Akeem said in Coming to America. I can't with you.
What? Yeah, he definitely has a black wife.
I was gonna say they got fruits, we got filters. Filter. You got to filter your tap water. You got to filter your rainwater. Man, some parts in this country they got acid rain coming down.
Exactly.
Water that comes down and it catches ash and so much stuff. They got black rivers, they got green rivers, and they talk about the reason for the colors is because of what is catching in the air in that area. And I'm like, we got some mighty polluted air. That just don't make no sense.
A lot.
Kangaroos are buff. Here we go with the kangaroo game. Oscar and Scar both agreed with you, Jay.
I'm telling you.
Close to the rainforest. He said it's because they're below the equator. Oscar asked, what natural foods promote hair growth?
So, for sure, any type of fruits that you can find, natural fruits. And when I say that, because a lot of people will say, you know, well, you can go to the store and get any fruit or whatever, but no, fruits are fruits whenever they have seeds in them. If you get some fruits that don't have seeds, it's not natural fruit.
It's not natural at all.
So, if it don't have a seed in it, it's because they've stripped it out genetically.
Yes,
that's some genetically modified stuff.
Exactly.
And watermelon that you buy from the supermarket.
Exactly. So
now, most of the watermelon I get has seeds in it, but I do live in the South too. And even though we're known for being unhealthy down here, a lot of the food is more natural because people have so many gardens and things in this area.
Right.
You know, so I do respect that. The
one thing that I love to promote is the fact that soursop is the #1 fruit that has basically anything that's in our bodies in it. It promotes, it heals, it protects, all of that.
I've heard of it, but I'm not picturing it in my head. Is it a melon? I want to say it's a melon.
It's like a mango.
Okay.
So it's really sweet. It looks weird when you go and get it. It looks like a jackfruit, but it's smaller. But it's called a soursop.
So I cannot spell today. Sorry, guys.
SOURSOP. Yeah. Oh, okay. And it's green and it looks like it has like
yes. It looks prickly, but it really is very good. And I tell everybody, use that. Eat that. Get what else? I love coconut for sure.
Yeah.
Also aloe vera.
Oh, I love using aloe vera. Like I would scrape the plant out.
Yes,
and crush it at home and run it through a coffee filter.
Exactly. If you can plant your own aloe vera, that's perfect.
I've also heard that that plant is actually good for like cuts and everything else too.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's good for your
Aloe vera
skin. It's
is a
yeah.
healing plant as well. It heals. I'm telling you,
Man, Spanish people fry aloe vera. Yeah,
right.
people eat it and
So
everything.
it's like I said, most of the things that we can use naturally for our hair is the stuff that we can consume that comes from the earth. So it's basically like whatever you feel is natural. If you go outside in your backyard and there's different plants out there, you don't know what it is, but most of the things that you have back there, you can use inside your home. You can take for different things. You can, you know what I'm saying? We just don't do the research to, you know
We
what I
think it's
mean?
weeds, and most of the weeds are actually herbs. And I love a lot of these pages now on Instagram, like the Filthy Vegan, or it's a lot of them out there that literally will go out and show you that, you know, I'm taking this home. They'll literally go to their backyard, or I think it's called the something forager. But anyways, the point is they go to their backyard, gather a bunch of things that look like weeds, and then go cook muffins or make cookies or something out of them. And they're like the entire, like a dandelion. We call dandelions weeds, but you'll go buy dandelion tea at Walmart.
Right.
And the entire dandelion from root to stem is edible. You could eat it if you were starving.
Exactly.
They don't teach us nothing about healthy stuff nowadays. Nothing now.
And see, I learned all of this off of the Dr. Savy diet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dr. Savy, I studied a lot of his things and how to go natural and things like that. And that's where I get all the information that I know off of the herbs, natural body cleansers, natural things like that, because a lot of that go hand in hand with your hair as well.
Yep, I tell people, if you want to be around here a long time, we always, when we're younger, talk about, well, everybody got to die from something. Then when you get older and you wind up turning up with cancer, and this is happening to people younger and younger, not just old people,
you're right,
quote unquote, people in their 20s and 30s, and even some teenagers and babies coming up with cancer and all sorts of disease that's not normal.
Exactly.
It's because the chemicals and everything in our food is getting worse and worse. They just pumping you full of it, and you don't know it. They're not telling you everything. Even the FDA has cleared not listing every ingredient on certain foods.
Exactly. And it's getting more convenient for people to just go fast food instead of cooking their own. You get what I'm saying?
And the reason it's so fast is because it's not real food. Real food decays. If it's not decaying, it's because they done stripped everything out of it and replaced it with, like they said, processed everything. They done put things in it to make it last for 10 years when it's supposed, it shouldn't have to be like that. And it really doesn't have to be like that, because you have health food stores like Whole Foods in different places that are trying to go more organic. But people, everything is about the bottom line. Those what? I'm sorry, La Bombay, I don't know what that even means because I don't smoke, but I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm not a
he's
smoker
making
either.
A reference. I think he's making a reference to
a natural. He's trying to
he's natural. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because and I kind of agree with him. I'm gonna touch on that for just a second. He may be making a joke, but they'll throw you in jail and sell you alcohol.
Exactly.
They'll sell you cigarettes, but they'll throw you in jail for smoking something natural like weed. And don't get me wrong, I know weed is not healthy for you either, but it is not nearly as bad for you as that other stuff that they're selling you in the store. The hypocrisy of this society is alarming.
And it really is. Like it's like it's what do you call it? A double standard. It's like, yeah, we'll sell it to you, but it's also against the law for you to sell it. And it's like, well, okay, so I can't sell it, but it's okay for you to sell it. Basically, you're okay in the fact that I can basically croak up and die from this. But if I want to, like you said, take care of myself, which I didn't even know that about the water situation. I did not know that it's illegal to collect rainwater. I mean, it falls from the sky. There's no.
I know it's insane, but that's the world we live in. Where if they could bottle air and sell it to you, you'd have people getting smothered to death because they ain't got the money to pay their bill.
Well, it is true. I mean, what they sell air in a can. If you want to go to the store, you can actually buy air in a can, and it's just like
pressurized.
How do you do that?
Guys, we lost Lavish, but I'm sure she'll be back. You know, she had connection issues. Hey, I see Savvy just came in. Hey, Savvy Millennial. We had quite a few people come in here today, in and out. And I don't know. Sometimes I think my chat has just stopped scrolling because I miss who's coming in.
For the most part, yours has been strolling just as much as mine has. Weed is a natural. Why will God make a plant? I mean, that is true. Weed is natural. It's just I don't. Here's the thing about when it comes to weed. Not everything natural is for everybody. It's like weed. It's just I don't like the way it makes my body feel. And even though, like you said, it can help certain people, I feel like unless you are or have some type of medical issue where you have to require I don't like how it makes me feel. I don't like the
Some
fact that I
people
feel
take
like
it for cancer. Some people take it for health issues. Some people take it for depression. It's different for everybody's body. I agree that there should be some regulation on things because people kill themselves all the time. Even people with lots and lots of money. Famous people die all the time from overdoses on drugs and just regular everyday Americans. So there should be some regulation, but the level of hypocrisy throwing somebody in jail for a drug charge for 10, 15 years and then giving a murderer 5 years or probation because, oh, we're not even going to go into the reasons behind that. But we've all seen it. Is wrong. And I know weed is natural and everybody's defense is, well, it grows out there, so what's the big deal? But so do a lot of poisonous herbs that you should not be consuming. So there should be some regulation that teaches, like how we say they should teach our children business in schools. But you don't learn that until you take a business course in college. You don't learn how credit affects you, how your spending habits should be as a young adult. And then you wonder why so many young people get in the world and screw up. They don't teach these things to you because they want you to have to pay for that knowledge later, because then again, everything is a bottom line in this world. And unfortunately, that's the America that we live in today, because again, other countries don't behave that way. Certain mushrooms, yes, mushrooms are considered fungi, and a lot of them are safe for consumption and they are really delicious. I love mushrooms. I'll cook them in red wine and have them taste steak.
I feel like mushrooms is hard to identify on which one is, like, how do you know which one is poison?
That's why I said regulation should exist. There she is. Hey,
sorry,
welcome
guys.
back.
I'm over here like, I don't
okay.
know why is my phone is doing it and then it dies. That's why.
Okay.
It may not be you. It could be Instagram. I mean, sometimes
the connection gets bad sometimes. It's okay. It happens to all of us.
Yeah. So it's just a lot. Like I said, a lot of the things that we consume, a lot of the things that we are used to.
Shout out to Canada in the building. I see it. He said he's not from America, he's from Canada.
I don't know if it's legal up there yet or not. We were talking about the whole herbs.
Oh yeah. Listen, hey, they won't make it legal here yet.
That's what I'm saying. No. Like every state is voting either for or against it. And I'm like, you done made every other drug of choice legal. You made cigarettes legal, and God knows tobacco is bad for you. Everybody knows that. From chewing tobacco, you can chew it, you can spit it, you can smoke it, you can do some everything. And that's way worse with all the nicotine and the chemicals and the glue and everything that you lighten up.
Exactly.
It's one of them things where, like you said, when even down to the hair is, like you said, it's the bottom line, and there's a lot of even with body soap, you got to look out for that, because I didn't realize they put sulfate in body soap and stuff. You're just sitting there like, dang, so not only are you washing your hair with this, but you're actually lavishing your body in sulfate, and it's just like, it's basically just eating your skin cells up, and you're wondering why you, like you said, why you're itching here, and
because
it's
when
crazy.
You do that, you got to go buy a Vino. So they hop in another product by hurting you with one. Then they sell you the cure for that. It's just
right.
I can't say what I want to say. It's like I say, every time we start talking about these subjects, if I say what I want to say, I'll probably get banned for a little while and punished by Instagram. But we know the world is not run by God. So what's left?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna leave it just like that.
And see, that's why I say, and that's how I kind of got my name. Lavish Culture, because
I was going to ask you, how'd you get your name? Because it's catchy.
Because this is the thing, we all want to, especially our culture, we all want to look a certain way, and we feel like we have to look like them, be like them in order to fit in, or have the things that they have. You know what I'm saying? That it's like we're brainwashed into thinking that straight hair, nice clothes, nice vehicles, things like that is what makes us, not knowing that we're the ones who makes that. You know what I'm saying? If we stop spending our money with the beauty supplies that aren't cultured, you get what I'm saying? Then they wouldn't have any money. If we stop spending our money with restaurants that aren't cultured, they wouldn't have any money. Because our culture is the one who literally has the lavish properties. If you think about it, we come from kings and queens and You
and
know what I'm
ours
saying?
come natural. It's not like it's not like we try anything, rather it's dancing, rather it's you making a product, rather you making cologne. It's a natural thing that comes.
Exactly.
And when we put it out there, it's like, yo, you got a right to be proud of it because it's natural.
Right.
And it does play a part where, like you said, like for self-esteem. There's a lot of people when it comes to the hair, like, and I know I was one of them. The purpose of me growing out my hair is because I have a birth defect in my head.
Okay.
So I grew my hair out because it was one of them situations where it was like, I'm tired of people asking me about it. I'm tired of people saying something about it or whatever the case may be. And I mean, I'm talking from a kid on up. My father wouldn't let me grow my hair out. Okay. So around 16, I told my mom, when she was like, all right, come on, let's go get your hair cut. And I told her no. And I mean, look, let me tell you, when I told her no, I got the look of the double.
Right.
And I had to immediately recoup and tell her why.
Everybody loves Chris look, boy.
Right. What you say?
I had to recoup and tell her why, but then she understood what I was coming from, which is why I grew my hair out. But after a while, it became, like you said, it became a natural thing where it's like we are what they want.
Right.
And so once I got that through my head, it was like, yeah, I like my hair, but I can do without it too.
Yeah.
And still, rock the cut or whatever the case may be. So that's why it's like one of the things, like,
yeah, there's a lot of hate going on the internet when you see black girls with hair down here and they chop it off and do the big chop and start over natural because it's been straight their entire life. And the upkeep was good. They kept it healthy, but they wanted to go back to their roots. We are made to feel that there is something wrong with our natural being as we are. And
we're searching for something that
it makes you feel awkward, you know?
Yeah, we're searching for something that we already have. Like we want the lavishness that they present, but not knowing that we're the ones who offered it in the first place. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's one of them things.
And black people have straight hair too. That's why Indians have soft hair. That's why the Egyptians used to rock braids and had straight hair. So it's not like that's not in us to have. But I was always taught that the reason we have kinky hair is because of slavery. When we were experimenting with jeans, you see those black people with the long necks?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you have the Watusis, and then you have the pygmies. That was gene experimentation. This country didn't invent gene experimentation. We had been doing that across the earth. But our hair texture came from when we went into slavery, experimentation started happening because our hair texture holds moisture more now. Straight hair does not hold moisture. So we was out there working in that hot sun, stuck in them cotton fields and doing all that stuff. So our hair texture was changed intentionally. And we may not like it now. I really wish we hadn't, but I understand that was a helpful thing for us back then. We needed that.
So me not being in the because I'm a guy, and I have to ask this because I see this a lot, and I don't knock people that do this. But what is the purpose of the extended eyelash? Why do people put them in? What is I because I'm a guy and I don't like I'm a natural guy.
We both answer that one, but I'm gonna let her go first.
Okay.
Like, I don't natural things, so it's like
it's okay. So let me tell you, back in the day, in the I'm gonna say I believe it was like 19, maybe not even 19, maybe 17 to 1800s or whatever. It was made to where in order to know the status or the class in which you were living the lifestyle. So if you were middle class, upper class, lower class, they knew by the makeup, the jewelry, the things like that you would wear. You get what I'm saying? So it just kind of extended over time to where now that's what we do as just a luxury, but it's still I guess it graduated, but it still kind of means the same thing. You get what I'm saying?
Luxury. So, it implies,
richness. So it's like that's what they did. So even though we may not have known that, a lot of us don't know that that's what they did. Red lipstick.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was asking because I've never like growing up so I'm 30, so obviously I grew up in the 90s and stuff like that, and obviously we've seen the transition from the big baggy clothes to where the women were covered back then to where it is now. So we've seen the transition of, like I said, no internet to having internet,
right?
From MySpace to having Facebook to Instagram. We've seen that transition. So it was like, now that I see this, you know, this class nowadays where you got girls who got thick eyelashes on and stuff, like me, and like I said, I don't knock people to do it. It's just not my wave. It's not my thing. It looked like giant centipedes on their eyes.
They exceed the limits. There's a lot of things that we do that we overdo.
Yeah.
Why your nails got to be this long? Was that really necessary to look
and
good?
see it's a form of a statement too, because people like to feel, I mean,
empowered.
Yeah, people like to feel a certain type of way. And so
and I think they like the attention it gets them too.
So it's like it may be something that they're missing or insecure about themselves, that whenever they do certain things to them, it makes them feel better. So like for me, I like the more classy look. I'll go short and white tips and leave it at that, because I feel like it's more classy whenever you're doing business, whenever you're meeting people. It's more classy. It looks more subtle. But whenever you're doing the long nails and the long eyelashes,
you can go to the club like that, but don't go to a business meeting like that. Exactly. I don't care how you spend that. Nobody's going to take you seriously as a woman coming up and looking like you about to go work the red light district.
Yeah, so and it's like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make a statement, but what is the statement that comes behind it? You know what I'm saying?
You have to be careful of what impression you're giving.
Exactly. But all of that.
We also like the click. Tell them about the click.
Wait, the what? Are you talking about when you click the
nails?
Get your nails done once, Jay. They don't have to be long, and listen to the click. You're gonna realize that when you have the conversation or somebody getting on your nerve, that click. I have not heard a woman yet that didn't move them fingers after they get them done and be like, I just love that click.
Exactly. So it's just, like I say, it's just the statement. And back then it meant so much different, but we didn't understand that. You know what I mean? None of us coming into the 20th century knows that basically there is a reason behind each and everything. The Egyptians back in the day wore gold, gold around their you know what I'm saying? Their
peasants versus kings.
Exactly.
Even when you watch the Tudors, and the king would always give gifts of gold and jewelry and stature, and the peasants would just wear burlap, or whatever.
Exactly. So it's about status, but they're keeping it going. You know what I'm saying? After all these years, like it's still the same. It just evolved. You get what I'm saying? It still means the same. If you don't know, and you know what I'm saying, you never knew, and that you never were taught about any of these things, you wouldn't understand. And you would think it's just, okay, I'm starting a trend, or I'm going along with the trend that's happening, but not understanding that that's how these people look at you. Whenever you see somebody for the first time and you see them, you're automatically looking at what they got on, what they
first
have
impressions
on.
Are lasting.
You get what I'm saying? What their hair is like, what their teeth is like, everything. What shoes they have on their feet. It presents you in a certain class level, which you not even knowing. You get what I'm saying?
I'll believe me, I've noticed that, because when people look at me, and I'll be like, I know I'm not all that. Okay, I've always been like that, because I grew up religious. I was not allowed to date until I was older. But then if I dress up, people are like, you don't look like that same little church girl. And I'm like, but I'm still that same person. But I appreciate you for saying, for it's an impression that you give people. People automatically assume they know everything about you based on what they see physically. And sometimes that can be a negative for us. That can be a negative. And it can be offensive.
It definitely can.
We definitely have to carry ourselves like monarchs. I was always taught, because I have to take etiquette classes. Queens do not act in an unrefined manner. Refined means you remove excessives. You out there screaming and yelling at each other in the street and then wonder why people look at us crazy. You can't do that. And I know we've all been guilty of it. But people are watching us, and they look for any reason to look down on us, because we live in a society where we already know if you're not the right skin tone, you already being watched and you being judged way more than somebody who is different. We know our worth, but making society know your worth is going to take some time and some hard effort on your part. And being upset about it is not going to change the fact that people don't respect us because of our behaviors. They use that as an excuse. It is not a reason, because you should respect everyone if you want respect. But you command respect by the way you carry yourself.
Right. And that's very true. That's so true. And it's different. It's different whenever you.
That's very, very deep. And Yeah, it's like that's why we it's sad to say, but we gotta really move with caution out here. And it goes with anything because you mean even if it's situated like you can have, like you said, we have this luxury where we have nice hair and things like that. But then you got the next person who may not have as much nice hair, so they trying to do things to envy. That's why
children be getting their hair chopped off in school.
And they tell people this, that you got to be mindful of who you let in your hair. And because I'm seeing that where, you know, somebody would envy you or envy because you got beautiful hair or and now next thing you know, they're doing things in your hair to make it fall out. And now your hair.
I just read an article today where a little white girl got killed because the last person that she was seen with was a blonde, older white woman who killed a girl because she was jealous of her. It was her babysitter or whatever. I just read that article today. She's a beautiful little girl. She looked like she might have been 12, 13 years old. Had a whole
and see, that's the new normal. That's the new normal for us. The new normal is to be judgmental off the top. You get what I'm saying? That's normal. It's just like, as soon as I see you, I feel like I know you because of what you look like. Or if I see, you know what I'm saying?
And we got to work on that. Because that's why you have people in society who had zero control over who their parents were. Nobody controlled that. You don't know what you're going to come out looking like. Nobody can control that. That's why so many people are going and getting plastic surgery and changing what they don't like about themselves. And that's why I don't judge that. Because you don't know what they went through in their life. You don't know how many times they got bullied. You don't know how people look down on them. And you look in the mirror and you say, like, you know, you're a pretty woman, Lavish. Jay, you're an attractive man. But you are not that person over there who got bullied in school technically growing up. And I got bullied growing up, believe it or not. People be like, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. I had bad skin. People made mockery of me. People call me, I'm not even going to repeat some of the names because it might bring up some emotion in me. But the bottom line is, it ain't going to be no good emotion. But the bottom line is, people go through things and we should not be so judgmental of people after we meet them. Talk to people before you make your judgment. Because if you're judging your friends by what they look like, you're going to be surrounding yourself with enemies and you're going to miss out on the ones that would have had your back. And everybody needs to remember that.
The thing about it is, too, it's like in certain industries, depending on where you want to work or whatever your career, whatever it may be, in certain industries, like the hair industry that I'm in, I meet different people from different aspects of life, right? And so the thing about it, when I first started off, my thing was, if y'all know any hairstylist, most of them, once they first start, they don't keep their hair up because they're doing so much hair.
They usually keep shorter hair for that exact reason.
Yes. So it's like when I first started, I would go out any type of way. Like I'll just be like, man, I'm doing hair today. I can't dress up like I want to because I have a busy day, like things like that. But I ended like, it's like so much has come to me because of the people that I've been servicing, like dealing with celebrities and things like that. They say, well, in order for you to attract money, you have to
look like money.
You get what I'm saying?
You had to start taking better care.
Exactly. So that's what made me start dressing up. That's what made me start doing my hair all the time and doing this and doing that, because in order to attract in this industry, you have to look a certain type of way.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, even though I look like this, you might not know exactly what I've been going through or what I've been through, or I may look like this, but may not have a cent in my bank account. You get what I'm saying?
And that's okay, because you still know how to make 100 look like 1,000. And I tell people all the time, that might seem shallow to you, but I want you to consider, would you go into any hospital and have the doctors and nurses walking around in t-shirts?
Thank you, Lucky.
Wherever you go has a dress code. And if you can't abide by that, you are either not going to get any business. Because I promise you, if you walk in there missing your, I don't care if you got the mask on. If you come in there in a t-shirt and jeans and pick up a scalpel, you get the hell away from me.
Right.
You ain't operating on me if you're not dressed like a doctor. So you have to follow, the dress
protocol,
the protocols for the business you're trying to go in.
Exactly.
And that's how it is for Hollywood.
That's definitely true. And I think it took a few people to tell me that, because I remember it was one of the situations where like I'm not like, I take care of my appearance, but when I don't want to take care of it, I really don't take care of it. And I don't take care of it. And it was one of them things like, yo, like you're the face of the business, whatever you are. Yep. So if your hair is not cut, trimmed, and none of that, people, they know you run the business, but they know you're getting the money, but you're not looking apart to where it's like, you're proud to run that business.
Exactly.
It looked like the business is running you. So it's like, I had to really take an account of it, and then this is why I really started getting my hair and stuff, start done and stuff. Because I would literally, like, if you go down my feed, you would see at times I didn't care. It was like whatever. And I looked at it, it was a mindset of like, well, I don't care what nobody thinks of me.
I was gonna say, Jay care more about his hair and stuff when he's having a bad day than when he's having a good day. Right. And that is the weirdest thing. But that's
and it's one of the things. And like, if I was down, if I was sad, or whatever the case may be, whatever it was, I would literally go get my hair done by all means, and boost my spirit. But then Mia had to talk with me, and she told me, and I remember her telling me, she said, it doesn't matter if you're down or up. You need to maintain that. Like, don't let that just be
people looking at you for consistency.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So it's like when she said that to me, it's like now it's like a consistent thing where I schedule an appointment every 2 weeks. Haircut, hair braided, haircut, hair braided, and it never stopped. But now it does something to me where I like getting my hair done, and I like
your habits. Your habits.
It's my habits is changing, and it's not one of them situations where it's like, all right, each hairstyle I get done, each time I go crazy with the braid, it's like, yo, I got to find another style that's going to top the last one, and I need to find another style that's going to top this next one. It's like one of them situations with hair. I mean, that's why I said, like, I commend y'all doing hair because, well, I'm one of them people that look, I'm gonna need you to do the Underground Railroad in my head. Like, it's one of them type situations. And it's like, okay, and the fact that you guys can take something from a picture just by looking at it and then actually put it on somebody's head, it's like
that's art.
It's a creative process. Like,
it is. It's absolutely artistic.
It's like drawing anyway. It's like when you're looking at the art and you're sketching it out. And it's like, but in this case, your fingers is the pencil, and you're just you look at the picture and then you are all right, cool. Then you go back and look at the picture maybe like 30 minutes later. Okay, I need to do this way. And it's like when it's all done, and then you look at the picture side by side, and you're just like, well, dang, like you was able to bring this to this. Man, I commend you for that. Because
let me check the comments again, make sure we're not missing anybody. Scarface in here clowning again.
It's like
although Anita said her hair used to be so thick, but after her third child, she lost her hair. Hormone changes. You got any suggestions on people whose hormones affected their hair loss?
Yes, like I said, it's different, especially with the medicines and the hormone changes and things like that. You actually have to go through because I'm gonna tell you, I had a client who had the same thing, and I'm not gonna even lie. We went through maybe 3 or 4 products before we got to something that worked. You get what I'm saying? And it's because you never know when it comes to things like that, especially when it's something internal. You know what I'm saying? It's different. You can't use the same products.
What's the time frame you want to give people to try something and see if it's working before they move on, so they don't sit there for a year and just give up?
I would say you will notice a difference in your hair within a 2-week period.
Oh, okay. Okay.
A 2-week period. You get what I'm saying? Because from the first time
like a month, that's good. Okay.
No, like whenever you first use something, and then after about a week or 2, you're gonna start noticing a difference. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna start noticing whether your hair took to it, or if it didn't take, or if it doesn't feel different. You definitely will know. You get what I'm saying? So it's just going through the process of just finding out what works for you.
And Scarface says, searching for greatness, but you're already above most greatness. And he was referring to what we were talking about earlier, how, like you said, our culture thinks that it needs to change itself to emulate someone else when we are a culture.
Right.
You know, you don't literally go stealing a whole nother people. And I'm sorry, but I got to go there. You don't take an entire other people. Now, remember when the pioneers or the settlers came over here to America, there was already a people here. They had Indians.
Exactly.
Why didn't they get Indians to build a country for them? Because they didn't want wooden huts and things like. They wanted civilization, so they went all the way over to Africa where they knew civilization was. While they sit there and try to show it on TV nowadays and make it look like there are no civilizations. It's just poor people and poor children and feed the needy. That's not what it was.
Exactly.
The pyramids, building something that big, those giant tombs and buildings, you know that took tools, that took know-how. That stuff weighs tons. somebody had to have tools to lift all those heavy bricks.
Exactly.
Somebody had to know how to mix concrete. That's
Yep.
why they went over there and brought us over here.
Exactly.
So like Scarface said, we already had greatness. So feeling bad about yourself as a Black human being, because this world will definitely, and it's not just Black children. I see children in general and adults in general going through depression because they don't like themselves as they are naturally. And that is a terrible way to be. And I do not believe mental health gets enough. If anything is government funded in this world, it should be your mental health.
Right.
It took, like I said, it took years.
I've seen it up close, and I'm telling you, they don't care. They'll switch therapists. They rotate them out if they think they're doing too good of a job, because that is a business too. I've seen this up close because I have people in my own family that have been in therapy. Get 6 months in, and all of a sudden they got a new therapist. 2 months later, they done switched her out. I'm like, why do y'all do this? You know what you're doing. Because you know that if you do that, it's messing with people's minds and it's keeping them in that process of start from scratch again.
Exactly.
With a new stranger. And you don't do that to people, but that's the game that's being ran. Mental health does not mean what it should in this world.
Yep, you're right. That's correct.
And Savvy Millennial says he hates his dandruff. What would you suggest for people with dandruff?
Please, please do not use any sulfate.
No Head and Shoulders?
No Head and Shoulders, no sulfate, none of that thing. Nothing with alcohol. Please read the ingredients on the things that you buy. Don't use anything with alcohol, because alcohol is basically drying it out. Now, if you have dandruff, it's because your hair is dry. It has some people that have, don't get me wrong, it has people that have dandruff with moisturized hair, but it's because of something that's happening internally, like eczema or things like that. So it just depends. But
I think that's the situation with me. Like I deal with eczema, so it's like my hair stays moist, but I still have dandruff. So, but like you said, I still have to stay away from products that have alcohol and sulfate, because it only makes it worse. Not only makes it worse, it makes it extremely, extremely itchy. And no matter, it will make it seem like no matter what you put in your hair, you still got to scratch at it. And it was like to the point where I had to, once I realized, and it was like once I realized, okay, I need to stop using these products, and I start switching my products, that's when the itching stopped. Because you can only scratch for so much before you put a scar or so in your head, and then it's going to hurt. So it's one of them things where, like you said, it varies between the person. You got to find out, are you one that have eczema? Do you have eczema, or do you just have a dry scalp?
And that's why I said a consultation is best for all of that. Whenever you're starting off with, if you have a regular stylist that knows you, that knows your hair type, your hair texture, then that's great. But if you're a person that has multiple stylists that you choose from, or go to different stylists every other week or whatever, you literally have to have a consultation and let them know everything about you, because I have to have a relationship with you to know what you've done to your hair, what have you used, what works for you,
to where you are now when you got in front of me. What road have you been down?
I've been down like so many roads for different clients. To be honest, like I've had people who come to me with hair that has been so damaged from color, that's broken out because of psoriasis or anything, you know what I'm saying? So it varies from different people. You just have to know who you're dealing with, you know what I mean? And that's just it.
Yep. And
that's why I tell you, never cheat on your hairstylist or your barber. You never, ever, ever, ever cheat. If you find
somebody screw it up,
I can promise you,
who did
I am the moon. You know how they say, you know, and it's real dope. I mean, a lot of people make fun of it, but they'll be like, oh, you'll go cheat on your man or your girl before you cheat on your barber or your hairstylist. You damn right. Because you know for a fact that you know that your hairstylist or your barber will always have your hair in the best interest, because they dealt with you from day one. So they know for a fact first of all, they know if you went to somebody else, because they know they were. So, and they know if you did something improper to your hair, because they're always in your head. So it's like one thing, like, you know daggone well, you will not cheat on your barber or hairstylist, especially if you found them and they've been with you from the start. If they helped you grow your hair, if they, did it all.
I was going to say, unless you move, there's no reason to do that, or they die. There is no
reason. I've even thought about, like, it's been times, like, whether you move or not, it's like, I'm coming to you, because it's you're used to that, and it's like, but it's you never ever cheat on your barber, and you never cheat on your hairstylist.
That's right.
Now it's times that if your barber or your stylist is not available and you just desperately need to go and do
emergencies
something else.
happen.
Yeah. But like I always know. You know what I'm saying? When I'm dealing with my clients, I always know if something's different, because when they sit down in my chair, I'm like, okay, what you been using in your hair? Like,
you can tell.
What you did, what you tried to do by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that, because you could tell. You know what I'm saying? And then also, I know a lot of people do folktale and stuff like that. Whenever you're trying to do different stuff, you can't allow a lot of people to play in your hair at all.
No,
that's true. You can't allow too many hands in your head. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody does different things, and if you keep trying to do different things every other week, every day, it'll mess you up. Like your hair has to be trained like a puppy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has to be trained. So if you don't have your hair, your specific stylist primarily that you would go to for basically anything, then your hair is not gonna ever just be healthy or grow like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And I know we're 22 minutes over now, so we're gonna start wrapping up because it's getting late. But does anybody have any other questions for our guests? Please let them know if you have a website or anything of that nature where they can go. Do you sell any products or anything? I'm gonna let you kind of wrap us up.
So I don't have my website set up all the way yet, so I won't give that out. But I have all my social media: Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, anything. All my social media platforms is Lavish Culture. Y'all can go look me up. You can book with me there. See images of my work, and also everything that I offer as far as hair services. You know, I saw the comment from Scarface asking me about the people I've worked with, the celebs. I worked with Johnny Blaze. I worked with I've done a local celeb. Her name is Latrice Allen. She's a comedian. I worked with Sauce Walker's artists, different people, just different people.
So if all these celebrities trust her in their heads, I'm pretty sure she ain't gonna let you down. So if you in the ATL, hit her DMs.
What I like about it and what I respect about y'all is, like, even though you've been around these celebrities, you can tell that you're very humble. And there's not a lot of people that can remain that way, because you've seen people where they get around celebs and then, oh, I've been around this one, and their mood changes, their attitude changes. So the fact that you remain humble, that says a lot about your character already. So it's like it's a business. Like you treat it as business. It's like internally you like, oh hell yeah, I got to see you and meet you, whatever. But you don't let that show on the outside. Like it stays.
Yeah, there's a level of professionalism that remains.
Yeah, because at the end of the day,
people are still just people.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are they're just like me and you. They just have more money or more status connections, resources, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, I know where I come from, and without it being for my family and friends that I started out doing, and the people around me in the neighborhood and things like that, I wouldn't be where I am. So these people that are coming to me now that has a higher following or are on a different stature, it's only because of the work that I put in through over the years. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate them, but at the same time, I have to appreciate where I come from first.
Exactly. You have to always remember that the people, it's like I've said all the time, whoever purchases your product, anybody that's looking at you, and a lot of stars, they wouldn't be where they are if millions of people hadn't bought your album. If millions, if even thousands, we're not even gonna say millions, because you got smaller businesses that wouldn't be where they are. Look at all the Black businesses right now on Instagram and the hashtags, I support Black business, that Black people, white people, everybody is trying to push you up and say, I'm gonna buy your product if it's worth something. Show us what you got. This is the day and time for everybody that's got a good product. Put it out there. Stay as humble as you can, because people like a humble person. Everybody's not humble, and that's okay. But you be humble. Because I promise you, what I've noticed is it doesn't matter who you come in contact with. If you stay humble, somebody is going to look at you and say, I like that person because their personality makes me want to help them.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's how you move up.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients like that with me. A lot of clients do that with me. They were like, you're so humble with what you're doing and whatever the case may be. And I'm like, it's because I remember the whole thing is that every time I go out there or I'm selling a product or let's say I sell merch or whatever, it's that consistent reminder of what I used to, what it felt like to be homeless. And that's a consistent reminder every single time, because just as fast as you got it, that's just as fast as you can lose it.
I was going to say, a lot of millionaires go broke.
Exactly.
Wind up back on the
in
street.
the drop of a dime.
And they tell their stories afterwards, some of them. Like, I forget his name, the one that won, what was that show with the Masked Singer?
Oh,
What's his name for the first season? The one that won the end of the very first season. My brain's tired right now because it's getting late. But y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He went broke, and he told everybody. Made some bad business decisions in real estate and lost everything.
T-Pain.
Yes, T-Pain. He came back from it. But do you know how humbling it is to have everything and then realize that just like that, it can all be gone? Just one bad decision.
Exactly.
Put something away, people. That's a lesson right there, though. So you don't become the next one. Put something away that don't get touched by nobody but you and yours.
Let me say you something. Somebody smart once told me that save your money because one day it may save you.
That's true.
Save something.
That's true.
I would say 80% of people don't have a savings account.
Exactly.
You need to have something. The world could bottom out.
Too. People will gravitate to you because of your personality before, even if your work or your whatever you may be doing at the time isn't as up to par as they would like, they will still choose you off of your personality or your humbleness. It always happens. It always happens. Genuine people always move further in life.
Exactly. And if you're not genuinely like that and you recognize that there are some flaws in your personality, work on them. It's okay. Nobody is perfect. We all trying. But that needs to be a habit that you try to develop within yourself. When that humility, when you just want to go off, take a deep breath, count to 5 and say, you know what? God just saved you today. Because that would be nice. Because that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to aspire to be better, even if the whole world is not. The hard road is usually the uphill road. It's easy to roll downhill, though, and everybody want to roll downhill. But walking uphill and climbing uphill while you watching everybody else say, come on down here with me. No, I'm going to keep going up. Because when I get to the top of that mountain, I'm going to take a deep breath like the people at the top of Mount Everest. I'm going to look around and I'm going to remember that how I got here was my hard work. And that is what keeps you humble. Because people make the mistake, and I think we lost Labby again, and I know we're about to wrap it up, but a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that just because they made it to the top, that somehow makes them better than people that are still sitting at the bottom. That didn't make you better. You was just a little bit blessed in what you did, and other people are down there struggling trying to get up to the top of that mountain too. We got to stop the crab in a barrel syndrome. See somebody trying to make it, and in the minute they make it, you looking down your nose at them. Maybe that person would have helped you if you had been humble and you had said, what did you do to get there? Can I get help? I have a business idea. Because rich people make their friends rich by investing in good business ideas.
You guys have a good night. Sleep well. And we'll see you this coming Thursday at the Black Table.
Later, guys. Have a wonderful night, everybody.